Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello everyone. In this lecture we will discuss about campus planning and design of IIT Gandhinagar. Well, to my understanding, as far as I have studied and done this case studies, one of the actually role models, campuses which has come up in the recent times, in the recent years, and it's definitely I think because of the continuous and persistent efforts by the director of IIT Gandhinagar, Professor Sudhir K. Jain, and his very efficient and persistent team, which has been on this task for not less than 10-12 years now. And they have designed, they have actually given their a keen interest in the creating actually a sustainable actually campus, a sustainable project, and they have actually tried to address the three aspects of sustainability, environmental, social and economical, in various ways possible. So at least by going through this case study, you will see the intent, what kind of intent they have actually formulated, and accordingly how they have formulated the design, how they have conceptualized the entire actually design of the IIT Gandhinagar, and lately how they have actually executed it. The campus is still under construction, but in its a first phase of development, it has received Griha 5-star ratings, which is one of the highest actually ratings presently in India. But the overall impact, if you see, of IIT Gandhinagar on the three ESE aspects, it reflects in its true sense. So that is why I believe this is one of the actually role model actually design and execution projects in the recent times. And yeah, so we must actually learn from this. So let's go on this journey and explore more on this. So well, this is actually satellite map of IIT Gandhinagar and the city of Gandhinagar. You can see over here. So at the scale of at this city, you can see how big this campus is, and it's like a critical location. So it's right across actually this river of Sabarmati here on the other side. So yeah, so this was obviously before the construction. So you see it's a green actually field project. So it was it carries even a grave responsibility, even a more responsibility to perform on the sustainability aspects. So let's see, it's the brief actually introduction and the summary of this project data of this project. Well, it's an institutional campus, location Palej village of near the city of Gandhinagar, in the district of Gandhinagar in the Gujarat, India. Site area approx 400 acres. Developable land what they have taken is around 250 acres. Rest of the 150 acre is still left for a future expansion and the green as a green area. Project details. Phase 1A, academic buildings, hostels for 1200 students, staff quarters. Phase 1 has a hostel for 1200 students, guest house, support facilities, director's residence, sports facilities and arcade. Phase 2 has a hostel for 2400 students, additional academic and other built up area. Phase 3 has finally hostel for 1200 more students, additional academic and other built up areas. So the project summary. The master plan designed to address the total strength of approx 6,000 students and supporting faculty and staff has been divided into three phases, what we saw. The architectural and infrastructure design of phase 1A and phase 1 for 2,400 students and supporting faculty and staff were developed keeping in perspective the long-term objectives of IIT Gandhinagar as well as catering to the present and immediate future. Well, the architects, the main actually chief architects involved from three different architectural consultancies. So you can see their names over here. Architect Vinod Gupta from Space Consultants, New Delhi. Architect Ujan Ghosh from Uppal Ghosh Associates, New Delhi. And architect Muhammad Shahir from MSYK Designs, New Delhi. Well, there are other agencies and institutions also involved in the design and execution of this project. Well, their names are not given over here. So some of the campus highlights. This data I have actually sourced from the IIT Gandhinagar's website, and they are generous enough. I really actually praise the effort by the director, Professor Sudhir Kumar Jain, who has actually inspired his team to create and document this entire actually processes of this design and implementation, and they have made those documents available on the IIT Gandhinagar website for referencing. So I'm really thankful to them for actually this effort. Usually like such kind of designs actually go unnoticed because the resource material, the research material is not actually made available to the public. So I'm sure, I think it's one of the actually novel approaches on this front also, because the future architects, designers, and like other like researchers and students such as you can actually benefit from actually such resources. So you can visit IIT Gandhinagar website, you can find actually such these research materials over there, these documents over there. So for the like a student housing, I'm just quickly reading these. 6 hostel blocks accommodating both UG and PG students. Even each block having a capacity of about like a 1200 students, 200 students. A common hostel library and reading area. A spacious single and double seated rooms, especially designed to be accessible to persons with disabilities. Energy efficient, modern style designs drawing inspiration from traditional Ahmedabad architecture. That will also discuss in the coming slides. So how this the dry and arid region of like a Gujarat, and it's like a vernacular architectural style has played role in evolving the concept of these housing areas is also interesting to witness. For the dining, central dining facility for all the students, 2 independent mess facilities, modern and well-equipped kitchen, a variety of food and beverage joint spread across the campus, a large central cafeteria with open-air seating. Further in the sports, football, cricket, volleyball, basketball, jogging track, hockey, gymnasium, and other like a table tennis games, etc. for like a indoor, outdoor like a gaming and sports facilities. Recreational spaces such as like a terrace gardens, riverside promenade, rooftop open air theaters, gel mandaps, central vista, 2 natural lakes are also actually kept in the inside the actually IIT Gandhinagar campus. So as a highlight, we can see these numbers. Okay, like a 400 acres is the total land area on the banks of river Sabarmati. 6 architectural firms, from different parts of the country, collaborated on this venture. 100 feet tall landmark tower is one of the actually most distinctive architectural features, present on the campus. 1200 students accommodated till date, and 6000 students will be accommodated by the end of the project. So that is about the 1200 students in the phase 1 and phase 1A. Further, like a 3.5 kilometer of riverfront adorning the campus. So one of the actually long stretches, along this river, a beautiful river, and they have actually located 75 trees. So 75 trees transplanted using advanced hydraulic machines, so that they need not actually cut them down for the like a construction actually stays. So it's a novel approach to relocate these actually grown up trees, from one place to another. Further, it's a green campus. A plethora of green initiatives are being undertaken in the campus. Interactive campus. The campus has been designed to foster interdisciplinary and inter-batch interactions. Free and open campus. Institute philosophy allows all kinds of new initiatives and experiments. Smart campus. A wide range of innovative technologies have been implemented to make intelligent campus. Well, so this is like an introductory actually page you can see over here about the like a master plan, how they have actually evolved this master plan. So you can see the 2 key architects associated with this project since its inception. Architect Vinod Gupta, I have actually personally have some correspondence from him also on the regard of this regarding the research on the IIT Gandhinagar actually campus design and the Griha rating. So he was actually gentle enough to reply and satisfy actually my questions. Further, you can see the goals what they have actually established over time for this project is to efficient use of land, efficient use of build space, zero water import, zero waste export, mobility without cars, so preservation of biodiversity, social equity, cultivation of food on site, harvesting energy on site, Griha rated campus. So you see some of these actually are very common at like other projects also, but some of these actually goals are not so common at other projects. So such as you can see like zero water import. So in principle it is taken over here that the water requirement will be actually met from the site itself, and that is why they have actually created actually a very strong actually network of actually water harvesting and water actually connecting actually, and water filtration and treatment actually, like a facilities on the campus. They are located in different parts of the campus, and zero waste exports. So that means like no waste will be actually thrown out of the campus, will be sent out of the campus. So they have their own actually on campus actually disposal systems also in place. For example, like a green waste, like a kitchen waste, vegetables and other like a such like organic waste. So they have a actually recycler on the campus itself. Further, it promotes preservation of biodiversity, because as we saw in the like a master plan, this site is like a greenfield site, and it has traditionally been like a either like agricultural or like a ravinous, the barren area, which had actually n number of like trees and other like a flora and fauna inhabiting on this place for a very long time. And yeah, cultivation on of food on site. So this also is one of the novel initiatives this campus has taken, and they have promoted actually this agricultural or the farming on the campus by the faculty, staff and their family members, even like students, so that the new generation can at least learn how this agricultural works, how and where we source our actually food from. So this is one of the actually novel initiatives, because the children these days who are actually coming from the like urbanized areas, they have actually for like a certain number of years, they do not actually have this exposure of idea where are we sourcing like our food. Whenever we ask them where are we getting our food from, they mention about the answer actually the supermarkets. Well, that's not correct. Okay, so this is one of the actually interesting actually initiatives, taken personally from the director, and he has actually promoted. Yeah. And again, like harvesting energy on site. So they have actually some solutions like a photovoltaic cells and like other things to generate actually energy on the campus itself. Okay, some brief about the like a built up area. You can see over here, we actually don't have the any need to repeat these numbers, but you see the number of total numbers in the different phases from 1200 2400 up to like a 2000 4800, finally like up to like the project will house 6000 students in the future. Okay, so land use, if you see, this is the actually master plan. You can see over here, this actually campus has this college village, impregnating in the middle of this is stretch. So they have actually made some arrangements to keep actually their interaction, with this village people, existing and continuing for like a longer period of time. So there are some actually considerable efforts, given in this direction also, to not to create a very hard and tall actually a boundary wall, and bifurcating as like a boundary wall, from here, from this village to this campus. So they have actually a soft, a half height wall over here, through which still there will be a sense of connectivity, a virtual connectivity from this side to the other side. Yeah, so if you see like this climate, on the climate terms, this place falls in like a hot and dry actually region, and it remains so for like a longer period of time, up to like a 6 months, and hot and humid for like a 3 months, and 3 months are relatively comfortable in the like a winter months. Okay, so cooling is required for like most of the year. During the dry summer months, humidification is also required. So as you may be aware of, Gujarat and Rajasthan regions are one of the actually hottest and arid regions. So the humidity also goes very like a little in these months. So this humidification is also needed in some of these months, and of course cooling the temperature is also required, because these are one of the very hot regions of India. In the July and August, there is a rainfall, plenty like the rainfall, and the actually atmosphere becomes like a pleasant. Climate is hot, and without actually cooling systems, the buildings cannot be made comfortable only through passive structural arrangements. So as we can see, it is actually the climate's requirements, is the geographical actually compulsion. That's actually this project could not actually survive completely on the like a passive actually cooling methods, and that is why actually they have gone to adopt like a controlled other like a mechanical ways of controlling the temperature and the humidity on the campus. So this slide gives you this geographical actually location, like how is it divided into like two parts. There is actually road which passes from like the middle from here, and this is the location of this Polish village. Okay, but almost if you see, the 40% of this land is ravinous, and this thing. So it's very interesting actually, this land formation, and it's actually habitat to several like a species of like a reptiles, insects and animals, traditionally, since it is located next to this river. So this has been so for a very long time, and the approach in the like design of this actually campus is like to cause the minimal disturbance to these this actually habitat, and they have tried to maintain actually these ravines as it is. This is one of the actually novel approaches adopted in this actually project. So you can see the location of this village, location of this river, the ravines, and like the highway and the road network in this plan. Further, like as a inspiration, they have not used this modern actually these city planning and these actually grid layouts. Rather, they have used this compact built form, model after the like old Ahmedabad actually city. So if you visit the older Ahmedabad city, okay, this this is actually traditional actually vernacular architectural planning system to plan like neighbors in a tightly knit actually spaces with the like a taller houses and narrower actually lanes, in order to reduce the actually sunlight, the direct sunlight in the like open spaces and the common areas. Okay, so that is actually principally used in the design of the habitation areas and the community areas, residential areas on the campus. Some more actually details you can see, like energy efficient buildings like are designed up to 3 floors, so that they are easily walkable, no need of like elevators and lifts, and a use of like natural resources for like solar energy harvesting and rainwater harvesting, etc. So you see like how the designs of like the corridors and like the overhangs are actually taken care of, so that the water and like a solar energy can be harvested. Social equity, so the for this region they have actually created on-site actually permanent labor housing facilities, so that the workforce who is employed on the campus can also be actually taken care of. Social equity, outsourced actually workers housing. So you see here like this housing actually created for them. E-rickshaw facility is there on the campus, and apart from that, well, this campus is designed to promote actually walking and cycling. So, and several like other like a passive cooling methods are also employed. So for daylighting, you see like some efforts are made to increase the daylighting inside the actually habitable spaces, reducing the electrical demand, and even to like these towers are also used, these cooling towers are also used in some like structures to minimize the actually temperature of the like air. Further, if you see like the road network, this is a design in a like a very interesting serpentine kind of a format, where you will get to actually pass from these interesting scenic areas. You will have the rivers view, you will have the view of the ravines and the other like trees, and the other like a greenery areas on this campus. So this is how actually this road passes from here. You see this location of this road, and this is the location of this Jal Mandap. This is a centralized actually water harvesting and cleaning actually system on the site. Okay, so further, if you see this, they have actually taken help of this shaded actually academic spine, they call. Okay, so it's a common actually shaded long stretch where there is actually space frames used on the top, to minimize actually falling of direct sunlight in this actually area. So this area is actually designed for like a walking and cycling here at the level. So it connects actually different departments and research labs from the like a ground level, so that people can easily take a walk. Hostel actually central code. So these details over you can see over here how water bodies, how the greenery have been utilized to create actually ambient actually temperature inside actually these premises. Further, like a pedestrian friendly like a campus, well, it's a Griha 5-star rated actually project. So you can see over here, this is the plaque they received. So one of the actually very efficient designs which has come up in the recent times. Well, here we will see the report, how much of like the scoring this project has received. So this is actually Griha LD actually documentation, I have received from like a Griha website. So here the slab of like this star rating, if you see impact on the site. So the impact is, if it is in the range of like 66 to 75%, that project receives like 1 star. If the impact is in the range of 56 to 65%, it receives 2 star. Similarly, 46 to 55, 36 to 45, and less than 35. So this project has actually received, you can see over here, is the overall project impact of this project is 25.89. So which is comfortably falling under the this threshold of 35. So this is why actually the rating given to this project is like a 5 star. The further bifurcations you can see over here. So on the resource impact, how much it has fared, so there are four actually parameters. On the left you can read like a heat island calculator, energy, waste, water, and wastewater, solid waste management. So overall it has these many scores. On the environmental quality, if you see, there are like a site planning, energy, water and wastewater, solid waste management, transport, social, performance assessment. So it has received like a considerable actually this score, minimizing the actually impact. So these are actually two major sets of like a criteria. Further in the detail, we will see over here how much this project has actually fared on the finer actually criteria sets under these sections. So this you see this section of like site planning over here. Under this section there are two actually criterias. Under the section of energy there are like a three criterias. Similarly, water and waste management has like a three criteria. Solid waste management here has like a this like a one criteria. So this is how it has actually fared. So the reduction in the impact, we can see like a here it is able to actually reduce by like a 96. Here it is able to reduce on the energy for like a 37 only. And waste and water management, it has reduced up to like a 30. And solid waste management, in this criteria it has received like 100 actually a reduction in the impact. So you see, we can understand over here, from since the location of this actually site is in such a tough actually climate, and that is why they have to actually rely on the electrical gadgets for like a comfortable creating like a comfortable environments. So that is why actually dependence on electricity is reflected from this actually parameter. Further, the detail wise this calculations you can see over here. This data is also available on the agrihab website. You can go and actually download this data from there. You can understand and you can actually analyze point by point like how much of a evaluation this project has received on these actually criteria. So this entire actually this documentation is given over here for your understanding. So now from here and onwards we will discuss what kind of designs and approaches they have utilized in this actually projects. So they have used this confined masonry actually construction technique. So the confined masonry buildings are expected to have better earthquake performance than unreinforced masonry wall construction and reinforced concrete frames with infills. The site is located in seismic zone 3 as per the Indian seismic code, which implies a shaking intensity of like a 7 on MSK scale. Gujarat has experienced devastating earthquakes in recent history, including in January 2001 when the Bhuj earthquake magnitude of like a 7.7. The maximum shaking intensity of a 10 struck the Kutch region of Gujarat and caused huge human and economic losses. The death toll was the 13,805. Approximately 130 reinforced concrete frame buildings in Ahmedabad also collapsed, leading to a death toll of 805. Evidence from numerous earthquakes in other countries indicate that good seismic performance can be achieved with confined masonry even without a high level of engineering, provided the quality of construction is maintained. For this reason, it was decided that residential buildings at the IIT Gandhinagar permanent campus would be constructed in confined masonry. So this is actually a personal, I think, an expert decision from the director of IIT Gandhinagar and his team, that he himself is actually a civil engineer. So that is why actually they decided to go for actually this construction method, with a constant monitoring to control the actually quality of the construction on the campus. So these are actually some details given about this the confined masonry actually structure on the on their like documents. You can see over here the details you can see from their documents. So this is actually the segmentation you can see in these walls. So there are actually n number of like segmentations. Even these windows and openings, they have actually their own proper like individual like segmentations, in order to minimize the stresses on these joints, because in the like event of like any earthquake, these tremors, these actually joints are more vulnerable and are prone for like ruptures and fractures actually, and cracks. So for whether it is like a shear or any like a kind of like a stress, they have actually taken care of through like this design. About building materials on the site. Building materials used on the project were typically for like a RC and masonry construction in India: cement, sand, coarse aggregate, bricks, and reinforcing steel. Maintaining a continuous supply of bricks of required specifications presented a challenge due to the project scale. A few creative approaches were followed to meet these challenges, including building a plant on site to manufacture the FALG bricks. FALG means fly ash lime gypsum, so that were needed because of their like a higher compressive strength. Burnt clay bricks were also used. The use of these two different types of bricks was beneficial in expediting the project. So you can see the details of FALG bricks over here: fly ash lime gypsum. So you can the picture is on the right side. You see the like this brick is of FALG, and this is the conventional actually red brick of like a clay burnt brick, you know. So this actually actually manufacturing a facility of this FALG brick was erected on the campus, so that a continuous and unhindered supply of this brick material can be ensured, because this is not usually available in the market outside. And as a like a raw material, they used actually fly ash from the nearby thermal power plant, because Gandhinagar has its own like a power facility. It's like a thermal power plant, you can see in the pictures, so they utilized this raw material which was readily available on this actually power generation plant. Further, these are the some sketches of this confined actually brick masonry actually system. So you can see like how these reinforcement bars are actually laid in between these two actually sections of this wall. Okay, and these actually rugged, these toothed actually these actually brick forms, these layers have this toothed like arrangement, and how it will create a a closed knit actually formation inside once the concrete is actually poured. So this is actually a technique they have adopted to counter actually these the high risk actually this seismic zone of India. In the next slide here, you can see the water cycle adopted at IIT Gandhinagar. So like sources of like from the water from here, if you see water from the like Narmada Canal and rainwater. So how well water from the Narmada Canal goes, of course, for the like an expected actually this is like a usage and recycling. But rainwater from the annual this rainfall, the total rainfall actually collected over the year, it goes like starting from the like a rooftop to the like a surface runoff. So it is divided into two. So the rooftop actually water is taken into this jal mandap directly, because it's relatively much cleaner than the surface runoff. Okay, and then it goes for like a converting into the like a fresh water in, and water for like a different consumption, even for like drinking, bathing and other like a purposes. And then the water from this surface runoff is taken for to the like a seasonal ponds, or maybe for the like a or a runoff to the river. Finally, like from the STP, you see there is a like a actually a feedback cycle given over here. So this water after this STP, goes for like a recycling to the like a for more purposes, even used for like a toilet flushing also. And then the even the wastewater coming out of these waste like these STP will go finally for the like a horticultural like a purpose, for like a drip irrigation and like a watering the plants and agriculture on the campus. So these are the actually pictures on the left of this Jal Mandap is the centralized actually water harvesting actually facility on the campus of IIT, and then you can see the sketch of this 3D sketch of this actually Jal Mandap over here. Okay, so this is the actually diagram of decentralized wastewater actually treatment system, adopted on this particular actually site of IIT Gandhinagar. So you can see from here the rainwater, the rainwater from the rooftop, and the Gujarat actually this water supply and sewage board, from the river, how it goes to, for the filtration, treatment, etc., for drinking, dishwashing and other like utility activities, and this recycled water actually goes for like a flushing works and the irrigation and like other things. So you can see like how this actually they have tried to close the cycle. So the wastewater actually generated from this flushing and like a drinking and washing and other like a utility things, it goes for like a anaerobic actually reactor, it gets like a filtered on its own like a naturally, then it goes for like a further like a treatment, etc., then again it comes for like as a recycled water, and then it goes for the flushing. Finally, if it is not going there, then the final like the wastewater goes for the like irrigation purpose. So this is the actually water cycle adopted on the site. Further, for the like a design optimization, they have actually conducted several like analytical like exercises, simulations, etc., to come up with the final form and structure, of the buildings used, buildings constructed on this campus. You see one of the actually optimization analysis exercises for the like residential actually areas for like students and the staff and faculty over here. So the how many number of like towers are actually needed for like this there's a passive actually cooling of the air. So you can see it was determined that a single tower provided the most cooling in the comparison of the other options. So you see like here are like a three configuration. So the first one has like the 5 towers, the second has 3 towers, the last one has the only 1 tower. So it was found with this actually analysis, the single tower actually structure is more efficient compared to these ones. Okay, so this was actually finally followed on this actually campus. So this is what I was talking about. They have actually taken cues from like the vernacular architectural system of this Gujarat, particularly this city. So you see the picture on this left. So this is a typical actually image, a typical picture from like the residential neighborhood, which are called like ols, and the market areas like collectively they call them like ols and poles. So the so this is actually a typical picture. So you see like how these overhangs, how these cantilever structures are actually partially covering these walkways over here, these alleys over here, reducing actually the exposure to the sun. Okay, and with the stack effect, there will be a actually induced wind movement in this thing, and relatively it remains like a cooler compared to the like upper parts of the buildings. Okay, so this was actually philosophy used in creating like a such a such designs. Over here you see this is actually a shot, this is an image from like a residential area, and also narrow actually openings and walkways they have actually created, to replicate actually this effect over here, finally bringing down the bringing actually down the energy consumption and increasing the energy efficiency. This actually slide elaborates on the conceptual approach they have taken for like creating the vegetation, actually planting the trees and bushes and shrubs and plants on the campus. So these are the actually residential actually blocks. So this is how actually based on the actually prevailing wind movement and the sun direction, they have actually planted the vegetation. For the signage also special actually attention is paid. They have actually derived special actually a dedicated signage system for this campus, so that the signage system can be in place, which will actually help the any outsider or even any resident of this campus for like a easy navigation through the campus. Flora and fauna, you see this is the actually layout which clearly demarcates the ravinous actually structure. So these blue areas you can see from here, actually you see this detail from here. So up to like these areas, actually the water in the like a flooding season actually reaches till actually these levels. So these actually areas are left like that, for like a natural actually habitation to continue as it is. So this is the actually scheme devised for helping the flora and fauna on the campus. Well, on the sustainability aspects, these also documents are given on their like a website, clearly mentioned how sustainability they have, how they have achieved sustainability on this campus. So these are given in these like a finer details. Elements of green campus design, approach to sustainability. Well, they have utilized the state of the art listed actually literature and other resources available from like NBC. So this is talking about the NBC over here. Approach to sustainability, this is the part 11 of the NBC 2016 we are talking about, has been added to the NBC Code of India. IGBC Green Township Rating System, Agriha Guidelines for Green Large Area Development, LD. The Energy Conservation Building Code, ACBC, that all of these things we have discussed in our like previous lectures. So all of these actually resources which are the best resources possible for actually designers and architects and engineers to practice in this field today. So they have actually utilized all of these resources for the design and development of their campus. For the land use, the carrying capacity of the campus has been determined by the Permissible Floor Space Index (FSI). IIT Gandhinagar will not be able to use all the FSI as large green areas are needed for recreation. In addition, substantial portions of the site include the ravines that need to be conserved. Socioeconomics, if you see, the current low-rise wall gives the message that both village and campus can coexist. The one point I was mentioning initially. So the boundary wall between the College Village and the IIT Gandhinagar campus is intentionally kept low and porous, so that a visual connection, actually an emotional connection, will still be able to actually continue even if this IIT Gandhinagar has come up, but they are not actually closing it suddenly, and they are still allowing this interaction to actually keep continuing over the like a time. Energy efficiency and renewable energy. So the main mode of transport on the campus is like walking and cycling. Passive downdraft evaporating cooling systems, you can see in this image over here, are used in the residential areas. The one analytical figure I was discussing in the previous slides. Spray a fine mist of water at a height resulting in cooling of air. So this, as I said, like this place is a very dry actually area. So in this actually one of the actually dry months, you need like a humidification. So these water mist, these sprinkler systems are placed in like these complexes where it emits the fine mist, bringing down the actually the harsher actually effects of dryness in the air, by creating actually a humid and a pleasant actually atmosphere. Water and wastewater management. So the intent is to harvest rainwater and use it in the building. Wastewater is being treated through anaerobic bioreactors and through constructed wetlands, vertical flows. So you can see over here, these ravines and these actually natural topographical formations are used for like a rainwater harvesting and retaining the water in the like a ground for like a groundwater discharge, etc. Further, solid waste management, on-site recycling of biodegradable materials and the transfer of recyclable materials to regional commercial recycling centers. So they have their own, like as I said earlier, on-site biodegradable material actually recycler unit on the campus. So there is no actually kitchen waste or any organic waste which goes outside of this campus. The only solid waste which cannot be recycled on the campus, that only goes to the designated actually recycling units, for like a for the recycling and other purposes. So they have actually taken care of like a facility maintenance, monitoring and control, adaptation and risk mitigation for the climate change, etc. So these are the actually important factors which we come across through this case study. So these are some images you can see, like this green waste recycling plants, like how is it functioning, how the staff of this campus, this institute, are actually volunteering themselves with this actually common actually cause, this intent to continue actually this movement of like a sustainability on the campus. You see some actually images of like a this biogas plant over here, this root zone actually treatment center where Chena indica actually plant roots absorb pollutants from like effluent as part of the sewage treatments actually process. This is actually conventional actually method of like water treatment and actually filtration system. So that is also employed on the campus. And on the right side you can see like a designated actually waste bins are actually kept at different places for like a garbage collection, and compost pit is also there on this right side, you can see in this image. Well, some more actually subtle impacts which this campus is extending in a, like a positive way to the community is by actually responsibly taking care of the workforce which is employed on their site, by extending the facility of education, and recreation to these children who are the actually children of these workforce on the campus. So educating them, taking care of their like a mental well-being is also actually actually taken care of, so that actually they can become part of the mainstream of the society. So they are not left out like any other like a generic actually project, but this project actually has tried to serve to its like a social responsibility also. Finally, these are the some different species of vegetation, trees, flora, which are planted on the campus. These most of these are actually local actually species of these trees and all, and they actually flower in certain season, they actually bloom in certain seasons. So depending upon the requirement of the space and the places, these actually trees are planted on the campus. So you can see like they have used these many varieties which shows like a conscious effort, a positive intent to create actually a green and habitable actually spaces in the like IIT Gandhinagar. So I'm sure in the years to come, when the campus will grow to its like a full extent, the habitats of the occupants and the students and the faculty and the staff at those years will actually cherish, will actually praise the efforts given by the director and his team, to actually make this campus a sustainable one, in a very long run. So with this, we have come to the end of this lecture, and I would suggest you visit the website of this IIT Gandhinagar. You can Google some more actually research material from the website, and you can actually get more detailed information about this case example. You must refer in your like design exercises as a role model, as I said earlier. So this with this, we have come to the end of this lecture. Thank you, everyone.